What is up, everybody? UFC 314 is about a day away, guys. It's late Thursday night. I'm trying to get this video out to you guys. If you're watching it, chances are it's Friday. We're at the day before. I'm super stoked, guys. Miami, Florida, my hometown. We have one of the most stacked cards of the year. 50-50 fights all around. Huge underdog value. If you're betting, there's so many holes in here, so much potential. I'm freaking stoked. This is as exciting as it gets. I feel like a little kid on Christmas. I got to be honest with you. But if you're new here and you have no idea who I am and you're like, who's this bald guy getting all excited about the UFC fight? I'm the MMA casual. 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, not a lot of credibility. However, I'm a handicapper and I'm a content creator. I guess I'd categorize myself as that. And I have about 90,000 followers on Instagram, about 60,000 on TikTok. And yeah, we're at plus 60 units for the year. If you're in $100 better, you're at $6,000 and it's only April. And of course, I'm talking about my exclusive betters, guys. I'm going to be talking bets, best value. I'm going to mention a lot of bets and spots that you could get into. Am I betting all of it? Of course not, guys. But I do have my exclusive subscription, $4.99 a month through Instagram. And if you subscribe, you get all my bets. And like I said, we're plus 60 units. But you don't want to hear that. Let's get right to it. And I have no idea why I started on the second fight of the night. I'm so sorry. But here we are, starting off the night like a true UFC fight. Nora Cornell, Haley Cohen, women's MMA. And if you know me, I'm going to speed past the prelims. I'm going to tell you some best bets. I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win. But my major breakdowns, my details come in the main card and just the better fights, the people's main events type of thing. So if you're in a hurry, if you have no idea who's on the screen right now, fast forward, check out the main card. I gotcha. So let's get right to it, guys. And so, I'm not texting. I don't have my phone out. I'm not doing TurboTax right now. I'm not on WhatsApp or Tumblr or whatever. I'm looking at odds because I like to give you guys live odds. It's that simple. And we're going to start off, with Nora Cornell versus Haley Cohen. And this is straightforward, guys. My pick is Nora Cornell. She's the better striker. She's the better MMA fighter. She's more active. She has finishing ability. Haley Cohen, on the other hand, has been dealing with a lot of injuries. Not as technical as Nora. Doesn't have the striking. What she does have is the cardio and athleticism. Two things that are huge in lower level mixed martial arts. But we're in the UFC here, and we're dealing with a female who could outstrike her and, like I said, has some finishing ability. So when you look at these odds, when you see Nora at minus 190, I kind of like it. I feel like a lot of people are fading this. A lot of people kind of like Haley. I don't see the value in Haley at plus 150. And she could clinch, she could grapple. And I'm a little fearful of her winning some minutes in this fight. I'm scared of her grabbing Nora, taking her to the cage, winning 40 seconds of the fight. They separate, they strike a little. Haley gets another 30 seconds. But I don't think it's going to go down that way. I think Nora's going to get the best of her. I think Nora's going to be able to kind of keep this distance. I think she's going to pick her apart. I think she's going to land damaging shots. And honestly, I'm so on the fence about the finish just because I don't know where Haley is right now after her injuries that I'm not touching a round line. But if you're interested in a money line, Nora's not the best because if you know me, I'm going to tell you women's MMA. No. But I tend to go against my own rules sometimes. And I did on my exclusive for my exclusive bets. And I did put some money on Nora. And I do have her in a parlay. And I hate to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you what parlay it is, but I do have some money on her money line. No round lines, no finishes. To be honest with you, if you're that confident in her winning method, Nora Cornell by TKO plus 450. There is some value there. If you are confident enough, and if you know who these fighters are, don't watch my video and say, oh, he said she main a girl. If you know Nora, if you've seen her fights, you think she could finish Haley? You think there's some chance there? That's the green light right there. If you don't know who these fighters are, fast forward in the video. Do not bet on people you don't know. Don't just blindly listen to the bald guy talking about the UFC. That's silly. That's really silly. We move on. Second fight of the night, guys. Tresean Gore. And I just want to take a minute here. Look at Tresean Gore. Actually, we'll do this. We'll do this bit in a second. Marco Tulio, Tresean Gore. Guys, this fight is a little far spread for me. And as I've been staring at the money line all week, and the more I stare at it, the more it makes sense. Marco Tulio is a minus 375 favorite. I think that's wide. I think that's real wide because Gore is plus 275. Now, Tulio's the better fighter. He's the better striker. He has more experience. I think overall, he's the better UFC fighter, mixed martial artist, more experience, etc., etc. Tresean Gore's coming off 2 wins with sneaky guillotines, with those long arms. And my issue is here that I don't think Marco Tulio shoots a takedown. I don't think at one point in time does Tresean Gore put Marco Tulio in any striking position where he feels he needs to shoot. I don't think Tulio's in danger here striking with Gore. I don't think he gets desperate. I don't think he looks for a takedown for just control time. I think Marco Tulio will have his way striking. Sneaky power, technical striking, can keep his distance with Gore. I think he wins this fight striking. So now I don't think Tulio gets caught in some random guillotine off a shitty shot like other people have gotten caught with Gore. But I think Gore is going to wrestle because I think Gore knows this. And the thing about Gore, and I just want you to look at him, and this is the bit. We saw Torres Finney last week. Can you tell me that this guy is not like a little action figure version of Torres Finney? Look at this guy. He's an action figure. Look at him. He looks just like him, like a little shrunken version of him. And I don't know what that has to do with anything, but Torres Finney's a hell of a wrestler. And this is what I'll say. I have Marco Tulio. I understand the money line. I think the more I break down this fight, the more I understand that Tulio will win, but I also understand that minus 375 is a little crazy for me. So here's what I will tell you. Fight to go the distance. Yes, it's plus 230. No, it's minus 325. It's a little crazy. That's a little crazy. If you're feeling frisky, plus 230. If you think Marco Tulio could get that finish, by the way, none of them are in any of my slips. Nothing's in my slips. This fight's a little too crazy for me. Tresean Gore, coming off of 2 guillotines, is plus 1,000. Marco Tulio, with crazy power, is minus 105 for the knockout. So if you want to get crazy, you fuck with a round line here. So plus over 1.5 is minus 145. Over 2.5 is plus 160. I think there's some value in plus 105. Minus 145, I think that you could parlay that. And think about it. Again, I'm not going over this. The only place I find value is over 1.5 at minus 145. I think there's some value there. Tulio has value, but at minus 375, they just take it from you. They just take it from you. And then for him to win by knockout minus 105, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So finish only winner, Marco Tulio minus 525. I think that's nuts too. So we're going to move on, guys. I'm wasting too much time on these guys. My pick is Marco Tulio. Sumaderji, Mitch Raposo. This is tough, and I think this is my first dog of the night. I've been on the fence about this fight like the last 5 days. I've watched quite a few fights. I don't know what to do. Just kidding. I don't want to seem uncertain. Guys, Mitch Raposo's a real deal, and he gave Andre Lima a decent fight. He clearly lost that fight, but he gave him a decent fight. And this kid is going to move forward. He's going to take shots. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to look to wrestle. I like him a lot. He's the up-and-coming prospect. Sumaderji, on the other hand, is the lengthy striker, wants to keep distance, and he's just getting older. And I think there's some value in Sumaderji by finish, but I really like the whole up-and-comer, aggressive, just take what comes at me to get what I need to get. And I think that's Mitch Raposo. I think Mitch Raposo will continue to move forward no matter what shot Sumaderji's throwing at him. I think he's gonna predict the pace. He's gonna have the center of the octagon, and I really do think he's gonna have some like odd control time. I think he's gonna have those weird minutes where he has Sumaderji clinched up. I think he's gonna go for like a stupid single leg, and he's gonna get him down, and he's gonna be inside control for a little bit. I think that's how Mitch Raposo is gonna win. Now, what we need from Mitch Raposo is for him to be productive, because we know that sometimes that control now in the UFC, we want more damage. If he's not landing shots, if he's not working, I mean, Mitch Raposo could sit on the guy for 5 minutes and nothing's going to happen. We saw what the judge, even though it was a bad call, what the judge did with Torres Finney last week. But Sumaderji, I feel like I'm waiting too much for like the right shot for him to finish. I think Mitch Raposo is going to have some control time. The only thing I would say is that Mitch Raposo does need to be careful because Sumaderji will throw up like a crazy submission. He will try to end the fight, and he does have the knockout power. So I'm not super confident in this pick, but I think I'm going for my first dog of the night. I'm going Mitch Raposo, and I like two things. I like Mitch Raposo money line 1+45. If you're on the Sumaderji side, so he's -180. But I think if you pick Sumaderji, I don't think Sumaderji wins this fight by decision. And hear me out. I tend to clip these type of this video when I do things like this. Sumaderji is -180 money line. I think Sumaderji, if he wins, it's by finish, believe it or not. Fight to go the distance, no, is +110. Sumaderji to win by knockout is +300. I'm not saying he can't outvolume Mitch Raposo, but I think Mitch Raposo's tough enough to move forward, gain control, and I think he's going to have enough volume where if Sumaderji's landing good shots, I think Mitch Raposo still looks like he's winning the round, if that makes any sense. So I think I like fight doesn't go the distance, +110, or Sumaderji by knockout, +300 if you want plus money bets. If not, hey, if you're on the Sumaderji side, -180. But if you're rocking with me, I think I might go half a unit, +145. Mitch Raposo, I think he could get it done. I think he could outwork Sumaderji, who's aging. Mitch Raposo, one of those guys who I feel is going to get better the more time he's in the UFC. Cedricus Dumas, literally the Street Fighter. And not like Street Fighter video game, literally a Street Fighter. This guy started off street fighting. No surprise there. Michael Oleksiejczuk. And it's not Michael, it's Michel or Mikal. I don't know. Oleksiejczuk. Guys, this is a mixed match to me. I mean, like, I am so confident right now. And I have two slips on Oleksiejczuk. And maybe I'm jinxing myself. Cedric Dumas is not that good. Just straight up. Not that good. And 10-2, his record makes him, kind of fluffs him up a little bit. But what I've seen is I'm not impressed. I think he's a physical specimen. I think he has hands, literally. Like, we're talking street fighting. That guy has hands. But I don't think he's that freaking good. I don't think he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. I'm not impressed by him. I think Oleksiejczuk has fought better competition. I think he's extremely dangerous striking. I think he's going to push forward, overwhelm anybody who's in front of him. He literally did it to Kevin Holland. He's going to drop people. He's going to land the power shots. His only weakness is the ground. And I'm not comfortable in saying that Dumas is going to best Oleksiejczuk on the ground. So 2 + 2 = 4. I have Oleksiejczuk money line for one of my parlays. And I also have, I can't give you the other one, but let's talk. Oleksiejczuk, let's see what we have here. So he's -200. Dumas is +165. Total rounds under 2.5 rounds is -160. I don't think that's terrible value. Under 1.5 is +125. I don't know if it goes out that fast, but if you want to gamble, that's a sweat right there for 7.5 minutes. Winning method, Oleksiejczuk, TKO +155. That's something to look at, guys. Fight to go the distance, no, -210. A little too much for my liking. If you're on the Dumas side, I don't know. I guess you just go money line if you like the dog, but I think all the money should be going on Oleksiejczuk. I like him finishing this fight. I like him by knockout. How you want to run that in your slips, that's up to you, but I do have money on Oleksiejczuk, and I'm fairly confident on that pick. I'm sticking with it, man. Kevin Holland got lucky with that sub. He literally got dropped within like 30 seconds of that fight, so. Darren the Damage Elkins, Julian Erosa. Tell me a better fight that's like an absolute mess. You have like one of the most durable dudes who's like 40 years old. Then you have another guy who's durable when it's convenient. He'll beat someone who's good and then lose. He's like the Miami Dolphins. He's gonna beat the 13-0 Patriots, and then he's gonna lose to the freaking 2-11 Jets. That's just how it works. It's what he does. So Julian Erosa, the most unreliable guy you've ever seen. Darren Elkins, the guy who's gonna ruin your parlay because at 40 years old he's gonna beat somebody who's like a clear favorite. I don't like that, right? I don't like either of those things. But Here's what I will say. Guys, Julian Erosa is coming in as a minus 375 favorite. That's absolutely bananas. If you have that on a parlay, remove it. If you have him at money line, remove it. I don't care if he wins, which I have him winning the fight, by the way. I do have the favorite, Julian Erosa. Guys, you cannot bet on this guy. This guy is so unreliable, and I do think he wins, but it's not worth minus 375. So this is gambling advice right here. Darren Elkins, on the other hand, plus 275. There's value there. Even though I'm not doing it, there is value in Darren Elkins because he's proven time and time again that he's one tough son of a gun. And he's going to bleed and he's going to bruise and he's going to look like shit. That guy has gone through it all. That guy, like, you could put that guy through like a meat shredder and he's going to come out just bleeding a little. No. This fight is a problem. This fight is a problem because these guys are just too unreliable. And I know I'm saying that. I just like had brain fog there of what to say, but you can't trust them. And if you ask me, the only value for gambling is the underdog. It's Darren Elkins. Now, when we talk about round lines, if you think this fight doesn't go the distance, no is minus 150, which is a possibility because once this fight gets to the ground, or once Darren Elkins just shoots at Julian Erosa, because Julian Erosa should have the striking advantage here. He's the lengthier fighter. I just think he's better. But Darren Elkins is going to come at him like a freight train. And that's the thing about Darren Elkins. But once he goes for that takedown, guess what? Julian Erosa is extremely good at these chokes, these front chokes. He could throw in a guillotine. All of a sudden, he goes for a quick reversal. He could have Darren Elkins back. But the problem is, who submits Darren Elkins? He's like this tough guy who takes you down. He works through positions. You could reverse him. You could work through positions, and he's not gonna give up his neck, or he'll just get out of a choke. He's so freaking durable in this weird way where he can't be put out that way. And that's what Julian Erosa will do. He'll submit him. So Julian Erosa. So let's talk facts. Julian Erosa to win by submission is plus 400. There's value there. Even though it's never happened to Darren Elkins, there's value there. Darren Elkins, the only real way I see this guy winning, he is not going to submit Julian Erosa. Maybe I'll end up eating my words, but I just cannot see that happening. I think you go money line, but if you want to get frisky, if you say Darren Elkins by decision, plus 650. That's a line. I just gave you 3 flyers. Erosa by submission, plus 400. Elkins by decision, plus 650. Or if you just like Elkins' toughness and the fact that he's going to push the pace and he's going to be all over Erosa, you do Elkins plus 275. I just gave you 3 flyer bets. 3 flyer bets. Ultimately, if you think Elkins tough enough, go money line. It's the safest bet, but there's potential. Plus 400 for the sub. I mean, you have to stare at it. And Darren Elkins to win by decision. Just out tough him, take him to the ground, control. The only thing I don't like about Darren Elkins' decision is that he's always wearing damage. That guy's always bleeding, man. Next up, look at this. I even choked up looking at Jim Miller. My God. Jesus. Pinky up because I'm classy. My God. Guys, Jim Miller is aging at an alarming rate. And that's a lot from me who was bald at 20 years old. But guys, Jim Miller, what the heck? He looks 10 years older than the last time I saw him. And we saw him less than 6 months ago, I think. Coming up against Chase Hooper. The young up-and-comer. I've been on this guy for quite some time, and I'll be honest with you. The thing I love about Chase Hooper is that he really is getting better. I think this kid is a star. You might see like a glimpse of Sean O'Malley, completely different personas, completely different fight styles, but they got that little Jew fro and they look like the young teenager. But this kid has hands. This kid could submit anybody. I'm super confident in him, but he's minus 1,000. And I'll be honest with you. About 4 hours before making this video, I was looking at odds. He was minus 750. Chase Hooper has just absolutely wrecked the money line. And I've always told you guys, I don't believe in anything over like minus 300 money line, even for like a parlay. Don't put Chase Hooper on a money line for minus 1,000. It just makes no sense. We saw what happened to Peyton Talbot, and I'll say that again and again in every video. He wins this fight. How he wins is what's going to matter. So let me tell you what makes a lot of sense. Chase Hooper by knockout plus 650. That's a freaking bet right there. By submission is minus 115. Here's my problem. I'm so sorry. I'm like dying. Like my throat just got itchy. My God, Jim Miller's physique just fucking killed me. My God, Jim Miller. Jeez. Looking old, brother. All right. So here's the reality. Chase Hooper can submit Jim Miller. Jim Miller, everybody knows the sneaky guillotine. He has some submission game, this, that, the other. Look, Jim Miller's going to get beat up. Jim Miller's going to get beat up like he got beat up by Bobby Green. The difference is he going to go for a takedown? Is he going to work to get Chase Hooper down? Who knows what his game plan is? Because the tough part about this fight is that Chase Hooper is significantly better than Jim Miller right now in every area. He's the better striker. He's the better grappler. So what does Jim Miller do? I think he plays his strengths. I think he maybe goes for a takedown later in the fight, but initially you strike and hope for a knockout. That's what I think, right? Puncher's chance. But Chase Hooper's the better fighter. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think if we go to the ground, I think Chase Hooper is going to get into some like dominant position. I think he's going to mount Jim Miller. He's going to maybe take his back. He's going to be landing on these strikes. I think Jim Miller might be bloody already. It might be a club and sub. I think Chase Hooper might just like knock him down, then get to his back and then sub him. That's one possibility. The other possibility is just like ground and pound. Maybe take him down, land some big shots. I got to be honest with you. Chase Hooper by TKO at plus 650. Guys, I'm looking at this now. I hadn't seen it. I'm telling you, that's a flyer bet right there. That's a flyer bet right there. I think that's a freaking steal. Chase Hooper has improved in every aspect of his game. His striking has looked impeccable. His submissions are just freaking superb. I think that's the way to go. I think I'm going to throw money on that right now. Fight to go the distance. No is minus 240. Yes is plus 175. Maybe some plus 175 value if you really think that Jim Miller's durable enough, which he's shown signs of durability, but with the new up-and-comer, I don't agree with it. Chase Hooper to win by finish is minus 170. There's some value there. Not a bad thing. Now, let's talk Jim Miller. If for whatever reason you feel bad about going against Jim Miller, you're an old-time fan, you like him, Jim Miller by knockout is plus 1,500. You want to talk about flyer bets? There it is. Jim Miller has a freaking puncher's chance, guys. He's not going to sub Chase Hooper. Get that out of your head. He's not going to get him in a guillotine. He might attempt one. He's not finishing the fight that way. So forget about the plus 2,000 submission. But you want Jim Miller, you don't go money line. He doesn't win a decision against Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper's going to have better grappling skills. He'll have more control. When they're striking, he'll land the better shots. He'll have more volume. Don't go decision. Jim Miller by knockout plus 1,500. You want to fuck around? Throw money at that. There's value there. You never know. First round, Jim Miller comes out. He's like, got to prove myself. Miami freaking gets lit up in the Kaseya Center. I could see it happening. You never know. So I'm going Chase Hooper. I do think he finishes his fight. I really like that plus 650 for the knockout. You know, we see it often with submission artists, man. All of a sudden they come in, the opponents expecting to be taken down. They get hit hard. All of a sudden you see a grappler finishing somebody on the ground just because he's superior in grappling, landing ground and pound. It happens often. Oh, how I have stressed about this fight. Yan Shannon, Verna Jandiroba, Jan whatever. She gives me the heebie-jeebies, I gotta be honest with you. But Yan Shannon, guys, I like Yan Shannon. Yan Shannon is good. Yan Shannon gave Zhang Weili one of the best fights I've ever seen in women's mixed martial arts. I love that fight in UFC 300. There was like a knockout, there was a sub. It was crazy. It was really good on both of their parts. Yan Shanan's good, but Yan Shannon has a huge hole in her game. And it just so happens that that's Verna's strength. Guys, the grappling department for Yan Shannon is so rough. And when I first saw this matchup, I literally threw a unit at Yan Shannon. I posted it for my subscribers. And then 30 minutes later, I said, guys, forget it. I'm not certain. I'm going to find something else. I don't know what to do. Because Yan Shannon is very good. And she's a way better striker than Verna. But if Verna takes this to the ground, they're not standing up for the rest of the round. So my concern is Verna feels Yan out for about a minute, maybe takes a couple shots, but then she clinches, takes her up against the cage, finds a single, drags her down, side control, couple elbows. Oh, she got into half guard. Oh, all of a sudden she's working on an arm triangle. Oh, the bell. And then we go into round 2 and we see the same thing. And we just see Verna just have fun on top. Solid striking. Boom. Couple punches to the ribs. Couple elbows to the face. Oh, she's working on a sub. Oh, Young got out. Or maybe she doesn't. But I do have to say, after a lot of stress and a lot of thinking and some tape study, I am going to go Verna to win this fight. And I do have to say right now she's minus 150. I think that's pretty good value. Yan Shanan's plus 120. And again, don't get me wrong, Yan Shanan could win this fight. She's a superior grappler. I mean, striker. If she's able to stop the takedown multiple times, this fight is absolutely Yan Shanan. And I'm going to tell you something. While this fight's going on, I'm all over the live betting. All over the live betting. I think Yan stops the takedown a couple times. It's her world. It's her world in there. But once Verna gets her down, Yan needs to be real careful because Verna's a submission threat. And I really do think that Yan's going to have trouble getting up when Verna takes her down. So let's take a look. I told you I do like Verna by decision plus 180. Verna by submission plus 275. That's not terrible. That's not great. I think the sub is live, but I would like more value for it. Yan Shanan decision plus 195. Basically equal if they go to decision. I don't know if I like that because I think Verna should probably have the edge because I'd assume she'd have more control time. I'd assume that they were on the ground for a lot of time if they went to decision. Yan Shanan plus 650 by KO. I don't really see that happening. Very possible, the elite striker, but I'm not. She's not known for finishing people too much. I think I have to go Verna sub or Verna decision. I think the decision is more likely, but let's see if we get a winner only by decision. I might put that on right now. Here's a free bet, guys. Finish only winner. See, Verna's minus 260, no value. So basically, that means if the fight finishes within the distance, is the only time my bet would be live. And if I bet Verna, I get it at minus 260. If the fight goes to decision, they give you your money back. But I think I'm staying away, guys. Personally, my pick is Verna. Minus 150. The odds are getting better. I might wait for these odds to get closer. If Jan ever becomes the favorite, I'm slamming Verna. I really am. Jim Miller killed me, man. Now I'm still here with an itchy throat and like, and I'm trying to freaking, I don't know. Dan 50K Ige Sean Woodson. Guys, this is another tough one to call. I got to be honest with you. Dan Ige has dealt with the best competition in the UFC. Sean Woodson, I don't know what that physique is, man. That guy is weird, but he has like the perfect physique for fighting. I wish he was a little more muscular, but that lengthy body, those long legs, long limbs, he's good and he's huge. He's 6'2" and he's going against a 5'7" Dan Ige. Guys, I really like Sean Woodson here. A lot of people are on Dan Ige, and I get it because Dan Ige has fought better competition. He's coming in at plus 140. Sean Woodson's minus 170. I think this line is going to close. I'm waiting to put a bet. I think people are going to be all over Dan Ige. I don't know how people think he's gonna finish Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson, his chin's been a little questionable in the past, but Sean Woodson is going to keep this fight at a distance. He's going to land the better shots. He's just going to be precise. Precision is his game. Distance is his game. Good footwork is his game. Dan Ige is going to be low volume. Dan Ige will not be able to get inside. Will he get inside throughout the fight? Of course, but it's not going to be this thing that's going to be happening often. So if you're going Dan Ige, you're praying that Dan Ige finds that huge overhand and knocks out Sean Woodson. And I just don't think that's going to happen. Again, Dan Ige, an experienced guy who has seen the best from the UFC in this division. Sean Woodson is taking a jump in competition, but I had to go Sean Woodson here. I think that the distance management, I think that the volume, I think he's gonna get the best of Dan Ige. I don't see a finish. Sean Woodson does have some sneaky power sometimes with those long limbs, but I think this fight goes to decision, guys. I have Sean Woodson by decision. I think that's a solid bet. Sean Woodson by decision is plus 100, so value is a little shaky. Dan Ige by knockout is plus 400. If you're a big Dan Ige person, I think you go plus 400. Dan Ige is now winning this fight in decision. I don't think he's going to grapple with Sean Woodson. I don't think he's going to take him down. Sean Woodson's huge, great takedown defense. And I really just think Dan Ige needs to put him out. Is it possible? Of course, but I'm not betting money on Dan Ige winning this fight. So Sean Woodson, minus 170. Earlier, he was minus 190. I'm going to wait for this line to close, and then I'm going to put some money on it. You have my pick there, Sean Woodson. Now we get to the main card. Half an hour in, and if you've made it this far, I appreciate you. And I'm sorry I've been flip-floppy a little bit, but now it's gonna get good. I promise you guys. I gotta drink water for the last time because we're gonna go into it. Guys, Nikita Krylov hasn't fought in 2 years. He's taking on Dominic Reyes, who has had the most questionable chin in the UFC. Yes, the guy who apparently the only guy to beat John Jones. Well, guys, he didn't. You know, at the end of the fight, John Jones won. So, yes, Dominic Reyes at one point had a lot of potential, was an up-and-comer, potentially beat John Jones. That was the whole idea about him. But then he goes and gets knocked out 3 times. And I'll never forget, I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, watching the fight with my best friend and my wife. And I saw Ryan Spann. It was the first time that Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya fought in MMA. And Ryan Spann knocked out Dominic Reyes with a jab or some shit. It was like the most ridiculous thing. And I was like, Jesus, what is this? And I thought his chin was gone. Here he did the same thing to him. And he got knocked out 3 times in a row. And then all of a sudden, we're on a little fight win streak. But here's my problem with Dominic Reyes. I don't trust his chin. You beat Anthony Smith. Thank you. Good job. Great. You're back. Little morale boost, a pizza party for the boys in the office. Good job. But guess what? Nikita Krylov. This guy walks into the fight. He's going to move forward and he's looking for a finish. And 2-year layoff and a shoulder injury. I'm not too confident in him, but let me tell you something. If Nikita Krylov connects with Dominic Reyes' chin, the lights are out. So now we move to the odds. Nikita Krylov is minus 190. Dominic Reyes plus 155. Does Dominic Reyes have some value here? Of course he does. If you think he's come back from all the chin issues and he's looking like himself again, hey, I'd bet him. I really would bet him, but I'm not going to because I think Nikita actually finishes this fight. So let's go straight to the round lines. Under 2.5, minus 160. That's a freaking line. Fight to go the distance? No, minus 200. I think I take the the under 2.5. Winning method, Nikita Krylov by knockout plus 350. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? With that bullseye chin on this guy? That's it right there. I just gave you 3 possible bets. You could parlay them. If that plus money one, you go single. But under 2.5 is almost a steal. These are big dudes. You have a guy who's 6'4", a guy who's 6'3". These guys, light heavyweight bout. Are you kidding me? You think these guys are going to be in there for 15 minutes? Absolutely not, guys. I think this fight's pretty straightforward. I think somebody's getting finished. I'm excited for it. You know what? I'm laying another bet on that fight right now. I'm not telling you what it is, though. Oh, I'm parlaying it with something, actually. There it is. Got the first leg of a parlay. Minus 2.5. There you go. I gave you a leg of a parlay. Let's move off, guys. I got Nikita Krylov there. The fight that I'm like so freaking worried about. Let's talk about it. Guys, Bryce Mitchell, Jean Silva. This fight has gotten so much freaking publicity. So much publicity. And when the odds came out, Jean Silva was like minus 450, minus 4 something. He's at minus 230 now. And Bryce Mitchell's plus 185. I have a few issues with this fight. Jean Silva's from the Fighting Nerds. I'm all over them. I think the Fighting Nerds are great for the UFC. I think they're super fun. I think they're very good. And Jean Silva continues to make me money. I bet him by knockout his last 3 fights, and he's won by knockout his last 3 fights. He's a very dangerous guy. He's live for a knockout at any moment. Bryce Mitchell is a superior and elite grappler, like it or not. He has hung around with some of the best fighters in the division already. So now you have Jean Silva against Bryce Mitchell, striker versus grappler. As straightforward as it gets. Let's break this down. Jean Silva got taken down by Charles Jourdain. Yes, he ultimately knocked him out, but he got taken down by Charles Jourdain, someone who doesn't wrestle. Straight up. Bryce Mitchell got knocked out by the strongest featherweight we've ever seen. The nastiest overhand right from an orc, Josh Emmett. That guy's a monster. Straight up made this guy seize. So when you put this together, 2 plus 2 equals 4. It really depends on whose style is superior, who's going to find more success. Can John Silva find that counter shot or that shot before Bryce Mitchell could get him to the ground? And if Bryce Mitchell gets him to the ground, can he submit him? A lot of what ifs. And when I break down this fight more and more, and I have it in my head, my advice for gambling, I'm picking John Silva. I am picking John Silva. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But my advice while you're gambling for this fight, don't parlay anything. Don't parlay John Silva. Because this is the start of the 50-50s that's from here on out. This is going to be a close fight. Bryce Mitchell can make this look real close. John Silva has this stance where he leans on his back leg. And actually, DC is the one who was kind of speaking about this, but that makes him very susceptible to takedowns. And the reason he stands like this is because he's trying to counter. He counters really well. John Silva's nasty at countering. Another thing John Silva does, if you watch him, is that he likes to throw these kicks, these hard kicks with a lot of snap on them. And a lot of times when he gets taken down, it's because he's vulnerable while he's throwing those kicks. So if Bryce Mitchell commits to taking some, he's going to take him down. And now when we're on the ground, I think that Bryce Mitchell is a real submission threat. So do I think this fight goes the distance? No. So the no is minus 210. So it's how it's going to win. Minus under 2.5 rounds is minus 165. Some value there. But what's important about this, guys, John Silva needs to finish Bryce Mitchell, because I think Bryce Mitchell will get a few takedowns in this fight if it goes on, right? First round, maybe John Silva stops one, and now they're striking. Those are his windows. Feint those kicks. Feint a few strikes. Don't be impatient. Boom. Wait for your shot. John Silva needs to find his shot. The later we go into the rounds, the more I think there's more issues for him. Bryce Mitchell, commit to the takedown. Commit to the damn takedown. Because once he gets John Silva down, I think there's a confidence boost for Bryce Mitchell, and there's an issue with John Silva and his own confidence, and he's not getting up. I think we're going to deal with control time, and then Bryce Mitchell's live for a finish. So, with that being said, I think John Silva's that good. When you watch him fight, and the last fight I really noticed, I was like expecting him to come out. He's getting the crowd going. He's going to find the finish. That's not necessarily the case, and I'm still dealing with the dry thing, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm like freaking and like snapping my lips. Has to sound crazy, but I there's nothing to do. I think John Silva's going to find this shot, because I think John Silva makes really good reads, and you see that in his last fight. He fought that very good kickboxer. And in the beginning, I wanted him to be aggressive. I'm like, finish this guy in the first round. I had a first round bet. And if you see him, he's just reading him. He's making reads. And at the end of the round, he caught him. Now, he needs to be patient, but he also needs to somewhat have a sense of urgency, because once Bryce Mitchell goes for that takedown, it could be a long night if he can't stop it. So this is a tough place for John Silva, and I love the whole persona. I love how he's playing the bad guy. He's like barking at him at the press conference, and the only reason, the real switch, because I really do think this is somewhat 50-50. The real switch for me is I really do think that John Silva's in Bryce Mitchell's head. He was talking about him being in his dreams at the weigh-in. He's like, oh, yeah, you're a dog. Well, I put dogs down. And he has like a shaky voice to him. He's like really upset. I think Bryce Mitchell's taking this personal. Like, he might really believe that John Silva's evil. I don't think that Bryce Mitchell understands that this is like part of the fight game and this is to sell the fight. I think he like thinks like this is Satan in front of him. So I'm scared like Bryce Mitchell's gonna bring a shotgun to the fight, like in the front yard, like, get off my lawn. No, you know what I mean? So Bryce Mitchell, I just think there's so much hate around the guy. He said some crazy shit. A lot of people want to see him finish. I think it's very possible here, guys. I really do like John Silva by knockout. I wish we had better value. Plus 115 is not good for this fight, guys. Bryce Mitchell is a live dog. I can't stress that enough. Proceed with caution. Don't parlay anything with these guys. That's my advice. Moving up to another great fight. Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull. Guys, Patricio Pitbull's getting old. He's getting old. He's plus 160. Yair Rodriguez minus 200. Coming over from Bellator. Has never fought the competition that we have in the UFC. But this is what I'm going to say. Yair Rodriguez, in my opinion, is overrated. It's that simple. He's always been overrated. I think he's a great striker. I think his kicks are phenomenal, but he's not a complete mixed martial artist. The reason I'm so divided here, another 50-50, 5 years ago, Patricio Pitbull wins this fight, and I'm super confident on it. But Yair Rodriguez can keep the distance. He could bring the volume. And in my opinion, Patricio Pitbull is not going to grapple enough. And it bothers me because I know that if he brings the fight to Yair, he has Yair moving backwards. He incorporates some grappling. I would feel super confident betting Patricio Pitbull by decision, but I'm not. I'm not confident in that anymore. And I've been on the fence here. Like I said, I'm not high on Yair. I don't see the minus 200 value here. I like this fight going to decision. I don't think there's a finish, but ultimately I did go underdog. I am hoping that's why I'm like proceed with caution. And this is one of my bets. I did go Patricio money line. I am hoping that Patricio realizes that he's stepping into the UFC, and I hope he's trying to, really put on a performance, and I hope that he's trying to get a win. I hope he's not just here for a payday. I hope he's not just here to, say I fought in the UFC in one fight. I hope he still cares about his career. I believe he's 37 years, a little younger. This is a tough one because every time we have these guys coming over from a different promotion, you don't know what you're going to get. They just haven't dealt with the same caliber type of guy. So total rounds, over 1.5 minus 350, over 2.5 minus 160, under is plus 120 for 2.5 round. I think this goes to decision. So if you want to mess with an over 2.5 at minus 160, I think that's fair. Yair Rodriguez by decision plus 155. That's also solid. And I got to be honest with you, because he's going to have better volume. That's my opinion on that. Pitbull by decision plus 475. I like that too because I really do that. I do think that Pitbull, if he incorporates some wrestling or grappling, he could find some success in this fight and have that control time. And I think that if you're close in striking, you have the control time. You had 2 minutes on top of the guy, or you clinched up through some effective knees, you win the round. So plus 475 for Pitbull by decision. I think there's some value there, guys. But I am going to go underdog here. A little bit of a flyer on my part for my prediction, but it is what it is. This is going to be something. Today I was thinking about how electric the arena is going to be when Heads Will Roll is going to come on and Paddy Pimblett's coming out. So Michael Chandler, I have so much to say about Michael Chandler. I've had issues betting for Michael Chandler in the past because he comes in and he wants to put on a show. He wants to be exciting at this point in his career. It's not like he has well put together blueprints to beat his opponent. He's going to come in and he's going to stand and bang, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to put on a show. If the crowd's screaming at something he's doing, he's going to continue to do it. If they're booing, he's going to stop what he's doing. And Paddy Pimblett is coming off that submission win from Bobby Green. Guys, it's been close to a year. That was UFC 300. I don't know if you remember that. He put out Bobby Green. So a lot of people are all over Paddy. And what I'm going to say is Paddy Pimblett is very good. Paddy Pimblett is going to be very good. Paddy Pimblett is still going to grow in the UFC. Paddy Pimblett is a superstar. He will continue to be a superstar. Maybe one day he will be champion. Paddy Pimblett is taking an extreme jump in competition. Name a notable Paddy Pimblett win. And if you say Bobby Green, shut off the computer. Just don't watch the rest of the video. I don't want you watching. Guys, Bobby Green is not a notable win, especially when you're an up-and-coming star. Yes, he was an obstacle on his course, and he took him down. But Jordan Levitt, a split decision win to Jared Gordon when he really lost. Paddy Pimblett has holes in his game. Oh, Tony Ferguson, I forgot about that one, which he was like completely gassed out. Paddy was in a 3-round fight. What has been impressive of Paddy Pimblett? Not much. And I had him by sub against Bobby Green, and I got it because Bobby Green threw a shitty takedown. Why would Bobby Green take Paddy Pimblett down? It makes no sense. And whatever, maybe he felt his striking and he said, hey, I have to do this for a second to get back to, but stupid. And now we're dealing with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, the guy who's fought Charles Oliveira, the guy who's fought Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Eddie Alvarez, Patricio Pitbull. This guy has fought the best of the best. This guy's been at the top of the game for about a decade. And I got to be honest with you, The Charles Oliveira fight just showed me that this guy is an absolute monster. He is still super durable. Is he a winner? No, he's an entertainer. Is he a fucking tank? Absolutely. And when you have Paddy Pimblett, who always has his chin up, can't wrestle. Yes, he's a good submission artist. He could grapple. He's dangerous on the ground, but he's not going to take Michael Chandler down. The D1 All American wrestler. He's not going to take him down. Is Michael Chandler going to go for a desperate takedown? I don't think so. I don't think he'll need to. Has Paddy Pimblett gotten better? Absolutely. And I've said that. So I'm at a point where I don't know the improvements Paddy has made. I don't know how good a striking he's going to have. I don't know if he's going to try to wrestle Michael Chandler. But while these guys are standing, Michael Chandler is live. Real freaking live to knock him out. And right now, at this very second, Michael Chandler is a plus 125 underdog. And Paddy Pimblett's a minus 155 favorite. In my opinion, if you take Michael Chandler, I think you should take him inside the distance, right? So Michael Chandler to win by finish, plus 210. Paddy Pimblett to win by finish, minus 115. The odd makers think that Paddy Pimblett's going to finish Michael Chandler. It's insane. And maybe I'm going to, like go back to this video and cringe, but I just do not see that happening, guys. And the thing is, Paddy Pimblett has shown issues with his cardio before. So it's almost like every aspect of this fight that I look into, I have more doubt because I think Michael Chandler, 5 rounds with Charles Oliveira, and at the end he was carrying him and slamming him on the canvas. And you're going to tell me he can't deal with Paddy Pimblett? And don't get me wrong, Paddy Pimblett comes at a pace, but Michael Chandler is going to be the one moving forward. Michael Chandler dictates the fights always. In the first round against Dustin Poirier, had Dustin Poirier hurt against the cage and he's coming at him. Can Paddy handle that? Does Paddy just shoot? What does he do when this all happens? We haven't seen any durability from Paddy Pimblett. We've seen him conk out in the 3-round fight. He's put out freaking Bobby Green. And who have you beat? And no disrespect to Jared Gordon. No disrespect to Tony Ferguson. But who have you beat when we're talking about the elite and the contenders and ranked fighters? And it's nobody. So you're walking into a fight with an experienced guy who's fought the best of the best in a 5-round fight. And I just don't see it. I do not see the value in Paddy Pimblett. So I'm going Michael Chandler plus 125. Here's another dog for you. That's 2 in a row. Michael Chandler knocks out Paddy Pimblett. It's just what I believe. And I am like so sold on it. And the more I read, the more videos I see, I'm like, why isn't everybody loving this? I mean, more for me. But if this line moves at all, I might have to throw another unit. And I'll just cut it there because I got in on that fight. But it's just that simple. The main event of the evening, guys. Volkanovski, Diego Lopes. Chances are you probably just wanted to see the last 3 fights I broke down. But this is the toughest one for me to break down. Volkanovski has been my favorite fighter for years. I've always loved Volkanovski, even when he was kind of that villain in the featherweight division. Diego Lopes, as soon as he made his debut, I was a fan. Literally, I made a video on my TikTok. I had already started one of my pages, and I remember I made a freaking "tonight will be the night that I will." I literally have that video from years ago 2 years ago, I believe, when he fought Ivloev on short notice, and he looked like a superstar, and I knew he'd be a superstar. And after his second fight, I said, this kid's going to be champion one day, and here we are. And whatever, I'm giving myself credit, but the videos are there. And I'm super torn because when you look at this fight, Alexander Volkanovski is the better mixed martial artist. Alexander Volkanovski is more technical. He's better. He has the experience. I mean, Volkanovski has it all. But Volkanovski is getting older. And Volkanovski took two brutal knockout losses to Islam Makhachev and to Ilia Topuria. And he's taken some time. And I'll say this, I don't think Volkanovski has looked this good in a while. As far as his physique goes, as far as his mental toughness, he looks dialed in. And that scares me. Because Diego Lopes, on the other hand, is the young up-and-comer. Diego Lopes is on quite the run. Diego Lopes has a chance to be champion. And he's on this trajectory moving upward. While, let's be honest, in career, Volkanovski is kind of coming downward. And I always do this. If you watch my videos, I'm like, when we have the older and the younger fighter, where are we meeting? Who's where? If Volk is down here and Diego's here, he becomes champion. If Volk is still here coming down and Diego's here, he's going to become champion. And I think there's so many factors in this fight. There's experience, there's technical ability, there's cardio. And this is what I'm going to say. I'm using my head in this fight, and I'm not using my heart, as stupid as that sounds. Alexander Volkanovski wins this fight if it goes past round 3. I'm confident in that. If there's a live bet going on, I will bet him. Alexander Volkanovski makes it past round 3, and I think that he's going to have the cardio. I think he'll get the best of Diego Lopes, and I don't think Diego Lopes has really seen championship rounds. And better yet, he hasn't seen it against Volkanovski, who's not going to stop coming forward, setting a pace, putting high output out, taking him down when he needs to. So I have Volk winning rounds 4 and 5 if we go to decision. Now, when we look at the first 3 rounds, I think this is a fat window to really test Alexander Volkanovski's chin. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not quick to say the chin's gone. But what I will say is I think Diego Lopes is extremely good. I think he's not as technical. I think there are holes in his game, but I think he's extremely powerful. And I do think that Volkanovski is at that point. He's at the door right now, where if he loses this fight, I think we're done with Volkanovski. I think we never see him fight for a title again, as sad as that is to say. If he wins this fight, hey, we got a new run, and Diego Lopes didn't have the experience or just didn't do enough. It is what it is. So, in my opinion, I think Diego Lopes can get it done early. I think he could get a finish. My money is on Diego Lopes, but after round 3, Volk is live as hell. That's my opinion. I think Diego Lopes has 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And at one point in those first 3 rounds, I think Volk is going to potentially steal a round. Maybe he steals 2 with his volume. But Diego Lopes has 15 minutes to land the shot. Diego Lopes has 15 minutes to be explosive, 15 minutes to do a lot of things. And if he fights like he fought with Brian Ortega, where he had him hurt and he couldn't finish the fight, I still think he loses the fight. I think Diego Lopes needs to put out Alexander Volkanovski. He's not going to have the volume. I think Volkanovski is going to be more intelligent. I think he has more experience, and he needs to be very careful. This is as 50-50 as it gets. I'm going Diego Lopes. I'm going in the distance. Not exactly that bet, but I'm just letting you know what my prediction is. Diego Lopes is currently plus 120. Volk is minus 150. So Diego Lopes to win by, oh man, we have so many props. Diego Lopes to win by finish plus 210. So if you like Diego Lopes, might as well go for the finish. I don't think he wins a decision. That's my opinion. If you want him specific, by knockout, plus 375. By sub, plus 600. I don't think he subs Volk. Volk by decision, plus 220. I think there's value there. Again, I'm going to look out for that live. Let's see the overs. Total significant strikes, over 160.5. Oof, that's real tough. And it's a pick 'em. It's minus 115 on both ends. Total takedowns, over 2.5 takedowns is minus 105. Under is minus 125. That's a really good line as well. I think we're over that, though. Volkanovski, Alex, total significance. Okay, I don't know who takes him down. I don't think Volk takes down Diego Lopes. Volk over 88.5 strikes for Volk. 88.5 is a lot, man. 1 takedown by Diego Lopes. Over is plus 225. I think he's just going to strike with Volk. So, guys, here's my thing. When we're all watching it, I think it's unanimous. I think we're going to be super sad watching Volkanovski in this fight, because I'm going to be honest. If he wins, I'm happy for him, because I know there's still some gas in him, even though he's getting older. And I'm sad for Diego Lopes. If Volk loses, I think everybody's crying, because we're all happy for Diego Lopes, but we know it's the end of Volkanovski. And like I said, my favorite fighter for quite some time. Now I'm a handicapper. I'm not gonna bet with my heart. I'm not crying. I'm freaking literally choking up again. Oh, god damn. So I want to bet intelligently, guys. I really do think the value lies with Diego Lopes. I just think he wins this fight. When I first saw it made, I was like, man, I think Diego Lopes takes it. Volk really looks good. He looks in shape. I think he's a more technical fighter. He is the better fighter. And it's crazy to say that and go the other way. But there's just something about the hungry up-and-comer and the fact that Alexander Volkanovski has been chinned for his last 2 fights. I almost can't count on his chin. So I'm going to have to go Diego Lopes, guys. And that's my thought. I just provided a lot of different spaces, some different value for the card, guys. I know it's a little vague at times, but this card is so hard to call. 50-50s all over. I'm sorry about me choking. I was stuttering. I'm like dead tired, but it is what it is. I appreciate all of you if you saw this video. I know it was long. We almost hit an hour today, guys. It is what it is. I appreciate. Subscribe, like, and go check out my exclusive bets. $4.99 on Instagram. Love you all. Have a good one. I'll make a video after UFC 314. See ya.